Good afternoon. My name is Debbie Jacobs, and I wanted to do a video today on reprogramming the mind. And what does that mean? And how do you do it? Well, basically, what we know is that our minds are programmed. They are programmed over the course of our childhood, over the course of our development, and that's how we, develop our thoughts and our thinking processes. I mean, we develop our beliefs and our thoughts and our thinking processes. And basically, I hate to say it, but we are a society of negative thinkers. So that's not really a good reflection on parenting practices. And basically, how our parents talk to us is the way that we talk to ourselves. So, if I make a mistake, right, or if a child makes a mistake and the parents like, oh, you're such an idiot. How could you do that? Like you're stupid, whatever negativity, and through the course of repetition and consistency, if a parent always says, "Oh, you're so stupid. How could you do that? You're an idiot. You're so stupid. How could you do that? You're an idiot." And ingrains that into our mind. What are we gonna do when we make a mistake? We're gonna say, "Oh, I'm an idiot. How could I do that? I'm so stupid," and that becomes our programming. That's an example of how the mind is programmed. And let me tell you something: everything that we think is programmed from experiences, or the primary source are our parents' influence. And parents could also be family as well, siblings within the family dynamic. If my sibling calls me an idiot every time I do something wrong or calls me stupid, I'm going to create beliefs around that just because they're saying it, not because it's true. And I know that actually stayed with me. I had a master's degree and still thought that I was stupid because I had always been called stupid by my parents and my siblings. Out of anger, not out of, listen, Deb, I just want to tell you you're stupid and I want to help you get smarter. It was out of anger to be hurtful. And I developed beliefs around that. And programming my mind. I mean, let me tell you something. Believing that you're stupid also, overflows into believing that you can't do things, believing you're not good enough, believing you're not capable, right? So we have, from our negative beliefs, stem a lot of negative thoughts, not just beliefs about being stupid, but how they show up in other beliefs. And let me tell you something: that is the mind being programmed with negativity, from negative thoughts, from negative words. Our negative thoughts are programmed with negative words, and negative thinkers speak differently than positive speakers. So I am programming my child just with what I say because I'm a negative thinker. If I was a positive thinker, I would be speaking to them differently, saying words differently, not insulting them, not putting them down, not invalidating them, because I don't want negative thoughts in their mind. And that is how you save yourself from reprogramming the mind. But that comes from accomplishing. Actually, I already went through the process of reprogramming my mind. And now it shows up in my words, my actions, my coping skills, my behaviors, my beliefs, my thoughts, of course, and I accomplish healthy self-esteem. So that's the finish line, the end result of the process. You want to accomplish the positive mind by accomplishing positive thoughts, positive effective coping skills, and healthy self-esteem. That's the finish line, healthy self-esteem, which you need positive thoughts and positive effective coping skills to accomplish. And really, you need positive effective coping skills because you accomplish positive effective coping skills by positive thinking. And then you have healthy self-esteem, not low self-esteem, because low self-esteem exists in negative thoughts. Okay, so that's and the negative thoughts is the programmed mind from our childhood experiences, because our childhood experiences leave us with negative conditioning. So we want to change the negative conditioning, and how we go through the negative conditioning is reprogramming the mind. And when we no longer have negative conditioning, we know that we have successfully accomplished reprogramming the mind. And, the negative conditioning is in the foundation of our being. It's like kind of like, where all our beliefs and behaviors, stem from. And our pain. So we got to get the pain out of the foundation of our being too, to accomplish the positive mind. Reprogramming the mind, is a challenging process, but it really takes nothing more than commitment and determination. We all can do it. We learned behaviors that don't serve us. Our mind was programmed with what doesn't serve us, but it can be reprogrammed, and we can learn, new ways of being and ways that serve us. But what it means specifically, is if we are programmed to respond with anger, then we want to reprogram ourselves to respond to anger with assertiveness. If we are programmed to handle a situation with fear, then we want to reprogram the mind, to handle the situation with courage. If we are programmed to handle the situation with insecurity, we want to reprogram to handle the situation with confidence. And how we accomplish that is through literally changing the thought processes that feed into our mind in those experiences. So when I go out and I have all these thought processes that are creating insecurity in my being and in my actions and in my reaction to the situation, I want to go to the thought processes and reprogram those thoughts that are creating insecurity to thoughts that are creating confidence. And positive affirmations really helps. So basically we want to take a thought that doesn't serve us and reprogram it to a thought that serves our highest good. And our highest good is the thought that creates happiness for all, not just for me, but for everyone in the situation. And I want to operate, from a perspective of perpetuating happiness, not unhappiness, because negative thoughts perpetuate and generate unhappiness. And you've accomplished, reprogramming the mind, the spiritual awakening, when your own experience, where you, are in happiness and not in unhappiness. When you are perpetuating happiness and have effective ways of being, that's going to help you in every situation. So basically, it's possible and it's doable, but let me tell you something. It is a process. It is a very long process. And it's absolutely worth it. I believe it is the cure for mental illness. And it shows, unfortunately, something that we need to see. We need to see, acknowledge, and act on the fact that our parenting practices are creating people with negative thoughts, negative ineffective coping skills, and low self-esteem, which increases their likelihood of suicide, mental illness, prison, addiction. And that's not the path of happiness, that's the path of unhappiness. And we need to make positive change, so that people are living in their authenticity and not in their hurt, because negative thoughts stem from hurt. Punishment is one of the tools of parenting, and it actually is more damaging than helpful. A whole slew of ineffective coping skills are developed out of punishment, because it creates a dynamic and an atmosphere of fear, of pain, of invalidation, of worry. I mean, it's all negative. What do you get from pain? Why would somebody think it's a good idea to hit a child? Hello, that's like hello. You know what I mean? It creates negative thoughts, and now the brain needs to be reprogrammed. and my brain was reprogrammed. I also created an app that reprograms the subconscious mind with positivity, and that helped me to accomplish positive thinking. And that really does validate, and that mental illness is not mental illness. It stems from abuse. And I'll tell you something, and my parents didn't think that they were abusive at all. It was not their intention. They did what every other parent, was taught to do: discipline their children for their own good. Hit them so they learn. You don't learn from being hit. Isn't that obvious? And kids are, poor kids, poor kids. They are in the developmental phase. They have no coping skills, no defense mechanisms, no strategies, and they don't know. They have no idea, how to self-correct. They end up in mental illness. There's nothing that a child can do to avoid mental illness. It's for the parents to do to avoid mental illness. And parents don't avoid mental illness when they give their kids negative thoughts, negative, ineffective coping skills, and low self-esteem. Parents must heal, must reprogram their mind, and get back on track with positive thoughts, positive, effective coping skills, and healthy self-esteem for their own life and the betterment of their children's lives, to keep them out of pain. We have to stop operating with pain and come from love. Love is not hurt. People say they love you and then they hurt you. That's not love, that's hurt. You're not loving me, you're hurting me. And we need to differentiate love from hurt and get hurt out of love. And you've gotten hurt out of love by accomplishing positive thoughts, positive, effective coping skills, and healthy self-esteem, because positive thoughts and healthy self-esteem does not exist with hurt. You have to heal your hurt, and this is the process of healing to your authentic self. No more hurt people hurt people. We don't want to live in a world of hurt people hurt people. We want to live in a world of freedom and happiness. And so much can be accomplished just from changing ourselves and changing our thoughts and changing our coping skills. So, I wanted to do this video because, I am someone who lived with depression, anxiety, and bipolar most of my adult life for, over 12 years before I left therapy. Because I got no results, and I started focusing on self-improvement. Self-improvement is life improvement. That's my healing. Learning new ways of being, new thinking strategies, getting rid of what doesn't serve me. That's the healing process, the process of being wrong. And I accomplished the spiritual awakening, which is the cure for mental illness. And really, that is reprogramming the subconscious mind. And also going from negative conditioning to positive conditioning. Now I'm operating with positivity in the foundation of my being, not negativity and hurt. That was, causing me to have anger, have fear, have worry, have insecurity, be aggressive, be insecure, have guilt, have shame, be embarrassed, feel disrespected, feel rejected, all these things where I would react to a situation with negativity. Now I react to a situation with positivity, being solution oriented, being understanding, being empathetic, being compassionate, being, communicative, having problem solving skills, having conflict resolution skills, having forgiveness, having acceptance, having approval, respect, that's how I operate. And I really wish that more people would operate, not only for the betterment of society, but for their own happiness and the happiness of their family. If we could bring this to families, we would not have the dysfunctional family. And without the dysfunctional family, I believe we wouldn't have mental illness, we wouldn't have suicide, we wouldn't have self-harm, we wouldn't have homelessness, we wouldn't have runaways, and probably our prisons would be, way more empty. That's the potential of changing our thoughts and coming from positivity and love in the world and not negativity and hurt. All right, my name is Debbie Jacobs. Thanks for joining, and I hope you have a good day. Take care.